Hi everyone. I wanted to stop on here real quick and kind of share some exciting information that I discovered a few days ago. I wanted to kind of wait to make this video just to make sure that it was going to turn out to be 100% true, but I got a free Medela breast pump. It's a double electric, and my insurance completely paid 100% of it. I did not pay a penny for any of this, not even shipping or anything. Um, so, kind of like a little bit of a backstory with my son, who is 16 months old. Before I left the hospital, I was somewhat made to have some type of birth control before I left, and I was sort of pushed into the depot shot. I'd never heard of it. I never had it. It was between that and something else she wanted to give me, but they kind of talked me into it and said, oh, it's a shot that'll last you 3 months. You don't have to worry about it. And then when you come back for your 6-week checkup, we can talk further about it and then schedule you for your next one. Blah blah blah. So I ended up taking it. They didn't tell me anything about it, um, and it was horrible. It was just pure torture. I don't know if anybody's had any problems with it before, but long story short, I gained a ton of weight, and as it stands, I mean, I'm obviously a bigger person to begin with, and my current OB said that she would have never suggested that. It's mainly for people um, who are quite a bit skinnier because it does allow you to gain weight. And not only that, but my biggest problem was it dried up my milk supply, and I never had any milk. I tried for 3 straight weeks to breastfeed my son, and it just wasn't working. He was angry. I was upset. I don't know why. I couldn't figure out why he wasn't getting anything from me, and I thought, you know, I'm such a failure. I can't even feed my child. And honestly, I didn't know what was wrong, and so I kind of called a lactation consultant and found out that it was the depot. It dries up your milk, and they don't tell you that. I don't know why she didn't say anything. She knew I was breastfeeding. It said on the little card that goes in the baby cart, and she had walked in a few times on me trying to breastfeed. So she knew I was trying to breastfeed. Long story short, so I had a really tough time trying to breastfeed my son, and as it turned out, he ended up being a formula-fed baby, which there's nothing wrong with that. It's just I had my hopes set on breastfeeding. Um, Luckily, I hadn't bought a breast pump yet. He was delivered at 37 weeks. I went in for a regular doctor's appointment. My blood pressure was high, and they induced me for 2.5 days. I only got to 3 centimeters, and so they eventually did a C-section. So um, I didn't have anything with me. I literally went in there for a doctor's appointment, and I came out with a baby like a week later. So luckily, I hadn't bought a breast pump, only because they're so expensive. And I mean, I would have been really upset had I bought one um, and I wasn't able to use it. So, long story short, I've been um, kind of researching on how I can breastfeed this child that I have in me now. Um, I'm delivering in a different hospital, and they do not supply birth control. And even if they did, I would completely deny any of it. I have only been on it once or twice my whole life, and it's just something that I don't like the way it makes me feel. I feel like it changes me. I feel like I become kind of mean. And in fact, my husband was a little bit upset that they kind of talked me into it when he wasn't there, because he doesn't like it either. But anyways, um, and so I've been like on a lot of forums, and I've been trying to figure out like what are some remedies that I could take. I've heard that there are recipes that you can, like cookie recipes with different ingredients that you can make, tea that you can drink. Man, I look like a hot mess. I'm really sorry. Um, it's really late at night, and I wanted to make sure I got this video out because if it's gonna help somebody like it helped me, I would be really thankful for it, to be honest. So, anyways, I had been doing a lot of research, and I came across this blog, and it was entitled "Before You Buy a Breast Pump Out of Pocket, read this or something similar, but I'm going to put it down in the down bar below so that if you're interested you can read it. I kind of didn't believe it, but I read through the whole thing. It's quite short, honestly. It's mostly just steps and what she did. Um, and it turned out that I called my insurance company. I have Blue Cross and Blue Shield, and it turned out to be the exact same process for me as it was for her, with a few minor details, but easier on my end. I couldn't believe it. I thought it was going to be a nightmare having to deal with them. But it actually turned out to be awesome. I spent probably no more than 4 or 5 minutes on the phone with the medical supply company, and I literally had my pump 2 days later, like to the T, 2 days later. So this was Monday, um, February 18th. It was like 2 p.m. and my husband was home early from school, almost ready to go to work, and I kind of talked him into, honey, just call the insurance company. I found this blog that I was reading, and, what could it hurt to call and find out if they cover breast bumps? And I know that there's been a lot of like mixed reviews. Some people say that theirs does, some people say theirs doesn't. It turns out with the new like Obamacare laws that switched over January 2013, it's mandatory that all insurances, or at least all private insurances, cover lactation visits, breast pumps, or at least breast pump rentals, or they have to at least make it accessible or cheaper for you. Now, this is all depending on your plan, your coverage, your insurance, but most, if not all, should do this. I belong to a pregnancy forum, and somebody had mentioned that Medicaid participates in this. Some people said Medicaid did not participate, so I think it really all just depends on your own situation, so I really advise you to call and figure out yourself, because for the amount of money that you pay out of pocket, for instance, this breast pump that I just got that I'm going to show you in a minute, it retails for $350 on Amazon. And to me, I would have never been able to afford that at all. So it was kind of like stressing me out a little bit, knowing that I really wanted to breastfeed my son, but knowing that also I'm a scheduled C-section patient, and typically C-section patients' breast milk comes in days later than just a regular vaginal birth. So that was stressing me out, and I wanted to make sure that I had something that I could use to pump and kind of like try to get my milk coming in, as if my baby wasn't always latched on. And so I asked my husband to call. It turns out they covered it. It was like a 3-minute phone call. Basically what happened was they said they covered it, and it's not something where you can go in, like, say, Toys R Us or Walmart or somewhere else that provides breast pumps. You have to get the breast pump from where they specifically deal with. So for instance, my insurance company deals with a medical supply company called Edge Park, and I'll put the link down below just in case you're somewhat in a similar situation and you can go there too. So basically all I had to do, and this is according to my insurance, Blue Cross and Blue Shield, they said that I had to get a prescription from my doctor for a breast pump, as if it were like a medication or something, honestly. So I take that prescription for a breast pump, and I fax it to this medical supply company that my insurance company deals with. Mind you, I live in New York, and this medical supply companies in Ohio, so it doesn't have to be in the same state. Like I said, all plans are different. Check with your insurance company who they deal with specifically. So I get this prescription, and I fax it over to the medical supply company, and I basically call them up and order my pump. And that literally was the gist of it. And so I thought, well, wow, that's too good to be true. First of all, you got off the phone with the insurance company in like 3 minutes, and all of a sudden, A, they cover it, and B, all I have to do is get a script. Like, how easy is that? So I was about to call my doctor and get the script and just ask her to fax it over to this medical company. But I thought, you know what, let me go check out this Edge Park website real quick and kind of see like what they're all about. So I went there, and the very first thing on their page is this big paragraph about breast pumps in red, so that it really catches your eye. And I guess there's like a new procedure that they want you to follow, with who to call and what to do and blah blah blah. So I clicked on that specific site and it took me to, their like frequently asked questions, and the first thing on there said you do not need a prescription. And I thought, what? So obviously the insurance company was kind of not really knowing what they're talking about. This Edge Park company said you do not need a prescription. All we want you to do is call us up at this number, and they gave me the number, and tell us you want to order a breast pump. We'll tell you the pumps we offer, and we will call the insurance company for you to verify that they do cover it, and then we will call your doctor to basically to get the script, but verbally. You don't have to have anybody fax anything over. They just want to physically talk to your doctor and make sure that she'll write you a verbal script for a breast pump. So that's what they did. So when I called this company, I said, listen, I want to order a breast pump, and I'm hoping that my insurance will pay for it like they just told me. Really nice. All they asked for was my insurance information, my group ID number, and whatever the other number is, and then they asked for the general telephone number on the back of my card, and then they asked for my doctor's name and my doctor's phone number. That was it. And then of course like your name and your birthday and your address and where to ship your breast pump to. And once that was over, we hung up, and I thought, well, this seems way too good to be true. And so a few hours later, mind you, this was at 2 o'clock, okay, so a few hours later I get an email from Edge Park, and it's just a generic email saying, create your login and your sign-in name so that you can keep track of your order. And I thought, alright, well, I'm going to do this just to see if maybe they'll give me a tracking number, or, how am I going to know? Are they going to call me back, or do I have to call them and see, like, what's the status of the update? And so I created an account, and right away it said pending, and they give you an answer as to why it's pending. So it said that it was getting a hold of my doctor and my insurance company. And I'm totally not kidding you. By 7 o'clock that night, this was last night, no, excuse, 2 nights ago, it said that they had spoke with my insurance company, and now they were just trying to get a hold of my doctor. And by that time it was kind of late. So the next day rolled around, which was yesterday, and for half of the day it said that it was still trying to communicate with my doctor. It was just a real generic answer. And then by 7 o'clock that night, which was last night, I get an email and a voicemail at the same time because I didn't answer. It was from like unknown name, and I thought, well, that's weird. Who could that be? Especially at 7 o'clock at night, so I didn't even answer. But they left me a voicemail and an email stating that my package had shipped already. Like, it was picked from the warehouse and they shipped it. And I'm thinking to myself, what? This is way too good to be true. This can't be happening, because I had struggled so hard to feed my first son, and I just felt like until this breast pump is in my hands, I'm not going to believe it. And like I said, that's a really expensive thing to have to put money into, although it's very worth it. But I don't have $350 laying around right now. Do you know what I mean? Especially since I have a child. My husband goes to school and work full time, and we live on his income. And I stay at home with the baby. We just bought our first house last year, so there are expenses that we are paying, but I just couldn't afford a $350 breast pump. And I know that there are cheaper models out there, but I figure if you're gonna go out and spend the money, why not spend a little more to get the pump that you know is the best quality that either A, you could afford, or B, is out there. And so that's kind of how it ended yesterday. It said it shipped, and this morning I woke up, and I think it was like 4 in the morning, and I had to use the bathroom, and I just happened to check the tracking number. They also give you a tracking number when they said that it had shipped. And I had checked it last night, like around 9, but it said, oh, check back tomorrow after 8 when, UPS has actually picked up your package and has some information on it. So at 4 o'clock in the morning, I get up to go to the bathroom, and I thought, oh, I'm just going to check anyways, because I was kind of excited, and I kind of didn't believe it. And it said that it was, it just left Ohio, which is where the distribution center is, and it was on its way to New York. And I thought, oh, okay, this is weird, so I'm probably going to get it in a few days, because you know how that stuff always takes. And then I woke up at, it was like 6:30 or something. I had to get my husband up for school. And then I checked again, and it said that it was already on the truck out for delivery for today. And I was like, come on, this is not true. Like, I honestly, I swear to God, I didn't believe it. And by 2 o'clock this afternoon, my UPS man comes, and I got the breast pump for free. I wasn't charged a penny, nothing. So it came in its typical, like, brown UPS box, and inside was another white box. It wasn't like the Medela, like the standard Medela breast pump box that you would probably get your product in if you bought it in store somewhere. It was just a white plain box, and I opened it, yeah, and it was just this bag. I'll hold it back a little bit here for you. So it's just this bag with the pockets up top like that. And I opened it, and it was, I mean, it's exactly what you would buy in a store, honestly, except it was free. So, yeah, so that's the actual breast, like, pump right there. So that closes up, and then the goodies are up top. Sorry, my camera angle's not that great, and I'm in my bedroom, so the lighting sucks too, so I'm really sorry, but I wanted to make this video to show you guys that you should definitely check with your insurance, because if you can get this for free, why not? I mean, I've had people tell me that their insurance companies won't give them specific medical companies that they deal with, that they have to go and, like, find your own that are in a certain area. And the problem is that a lot of them list the medical companies, but they don't tell you who specifically lists breast pumps. And I think that a lot of people are having trouble finding them, because, I mean, let's be honest, most medical companies supply, like, diabetic supplies or wheelchairs or scooters or things like that, and not necessarily breast pumps. So I think it's been hard for people, but to be honest, for the amount of money that you're not paying out of pocket, I would spend all day on the phone to try to find one of these. So yeah, it comes with a standard 4 bottles. There's 2. I don't want to take out the rest, and then it comes with 3 little ice packs. So that's in the first, and it's like an insulated little pouch right there. So that's in that one. The only thing that this pump didn't come with that I think you get in the store is the battery pack. So, like, for instance, if you are on the road, or you're a mom who goes back to work and needs to have something where you don't have a plug available, I guess, you would use the battery pack. But it didn't come with it. You could buy it separate, though. But, I mean, honestly, I'm a stay-at-home mom. Where is there not a plug? Do you know what I mean? And it's kind of cool, too, because they have the adapters. Like, if you are a mom who's on the go and you, like, for instance, need to pump while you're commuting, for instance, they sell the cigarette adapters where you can plug it into your car through your cigarette adapter. And you could breast pump in the car, I guess. I don't know. I mean, that would be a sight to see. But, so anyways, the second and the last zipper, I mean, you guys know, it's standard. This is just the actual, like, wall unit. How do I open it here? I mean, you know what it looks like. It's just the cord. That's the plug into the wall. The cool thing about this that I thought was kind of neat was that they give you 2 different, like nipple shield sizes. So these would be, I don't know if these are large. These are 27 millimeters. But anyway, so they give you 2 of the larger ones, in case your nipples are a little bit big, I guess. And then they give you, like, the medium 24 millimeter ones. So, you know, they give you all that stuff. And the cool thing, too, that I hadn't noticed was they give you this, like, little piston type thing. And this is, like, for instance, if you don't want to hook up your breast pump, you can do it manually. So that's kind of like a cool little quick option. So then they give you the valves, the connectors, the membranes, you know, the tubing. They give you 2 extra little membranes. And then, you know, that comes with the standard like how-to booklet, and then a CD if you don't feel like reading. I guess if you're lazy and want to just watch a video. So, but anyways, I just wanted to make this video because, you know, like I said, it's gonna make a whirlwind of a difference for me, and really for anybody. And why not if you can't take it? I mean, it's free. You know what I mean? If it doesn't work out, it's free. I mean, you could always donate it or whatever. Put this stuff back, sorry. La la la, let's see here. I think that's about it, but, yeah, you know, most companies offer the breast pumps of their choosing. It's not always the Medela breast pump. Some of them are brands I've never heard of before. But to be honest, like, I had somebody say to me, oh, well, I don't think that pump's probably going to do as well as I think it is, or do as well as the Medela. And I just want to say to you, it's free. Why not try it? I mean, you're not in any better position than you are now. Do you know what I mean? I mean, get the breast pump for free if your insurance will pay for it. Try it out. If it's not something that works for you, or you don't like it, or you don't think it's that great of quality, then go out and buy one out of pocket or rent one from somewhere else. But at least you tried something that was free. I mean, you never know. You might surprise yourself. You know what I mean? Breast pumps are breast pumps, to a degree. I mean, I think that if you have a nice hospital grade one, that's great. But honestly, if I couldn't get the Medela, which I just happen to get lucky and have one of the best ones out there, I think the next one would have been like the Amida. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but I seem to be finding those on a lot of like medical supply companies' websites. So it kind of seems like maybe that's the next choice for people. But you'd be crazy not to take that one. Why wouldn't you? It's still breast pump. And the cool thing is they're electric breast pumps. I had like this chintzy little manual one that the hospital gave me when I gave birth to my son, and it was terrible. I had to sit there and literally like go like that all day long, and it was only one, so it was terrible, and it just didn't work. And I think that was probably one of the reasons why I gave up after finding out, or right before finding out that it wasn't me, it was the depot shot. So anyways, I hope this helped you guys. I really encourage you to look into your insurance companies. I mean, you're paying your monthly premium. Why not find out if it's something that's covered, which, like, again, I said before, it should be because of the new laws that passed in January. And if you get somebody that tells you no, I would question them about the laws, because it did just change, or I would call back the next day and talk to somebody different, because somebody will always give you a different answer than somebody else. Some people know what they're talking about, some people don't. Some people are trained well, some people aren't. It's just the way it goes, and, you know, I don't mean to be mean, but not everybody knows what they're doing at their job, you know what I mean? So I would definitely look into it, and if it's free, it's free. I'm not too proud to take a handout, especially if it's going to make my life easier. And like I said, that retails for $3.50 on Amazon. It's incredible. So I think you'd be nuts not to take advantage of it if you could. So it might be a little bit of work. It might not be as easy as my situation was. But like I said, I think that for the amount of money that you're saving, I think it's 100% worth it. So anyways, sorry I rambled so much. I'm really excited about this, and I couldn't believe it. So like I said, I really hope that it helps one of you guys, and let me know if it does, because I feel like maybe I did my service or my part or something. So anyways, have a good rest of your night, guys, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.